So I thought I'd take the time today to sort of address the COVID-19 pandemic, the coronavirus. Now, I've been kind of holding off talking about this or being too vocal about it because I don't want to sound like a catastrophist or anything. But basically, I've been paying attention to this unfolding since probably about mid-January, when it was basically just contained in Wuhan, China. And, it was scary from that point on. I knew that there would be something coming out of this. It was going to go worldwide. It was going to become a pandemic. But nobody seemed to really be taking it seriously, at least in North America or anywhere outside of China. China really kind of stepped up, and in an effort to contain it, they weren't really too honest about the numbers behind it or anything like that, but I think they took the necessary steps to contain it. And I think kind of just now they are starting to get out of it, I guess, in a way. They're starting to, life is starting to go back to normal for them. So with that being said, that was about 3 months of, if it started in December, 3.5 months of, disrupted life in China. And they took really big steps to contain it. And, Canada, North America, anywhere like that, in my opinion, it seems like it's very reactive measures. There wasn't a lot done to prevent it. Like we had the warnings from China, then Italy was the next big outbreak, and nothing was really being taken seriously. You hear people, they think it's a conspiracy theory or whatever, but that's just silly. So now, just in the last week or so, with all the events being canceled, like the sporting events and concerts and things like that, I think it's really, people are really starting to understand the repercussions of a viral outbreak like this. So for anyone who doesn't know, the coronavirus or COVID-19 was first detected, I think, in late December, believed to have originated at a wet food market in Wuhan, China. And these markets, or this particular market, there's a lot of live animals there, and they're basically killed on site to preserve freshness. And there's a lot of the sanitary conditions aren't very great there. So a lot of, novel or unique viruses that we've never seen before stem from these markets with these poor conditions. And so that's basically where this novel coronavirus started. And the term coronavirus is just a broad term. There's lots of different coronaviruses. But this one, COVID-19, is one that we've never seen before. I think it was believed to have come from bats. So people eating bats or whatever, like raw, uncooked, or however they do it. That's where this is believed to have come from. And that was in late December. And I think, or at least when I started to pay attention to this, probably about mid-January, early to mid-January, it was pretty much just becoming a problem in China. So, that's when they built a hospital in about 10 days or however long it took them, and they were really taking this seriously. The North American places, it's very reactive. There's nothing proactive going on. Justin Trudeau just announced today that the Canadian borders would be closing to all non-Canadian citizens, so meaning no travel, no tourism in Canada or anything like that. Every event basically is getting shut down. There was an announcement made by the Saskatchewan government on Sunday saying that the schools wouldn't be closing for now, that they were just going to wait it out and see what happens. And I kind of laughed at that and just said, I wonder how fast they're going to eat their words on that. And then this morning they announced that schools will be closing indefinitely, meaning likely till the end of the year. And, Saskatchewan was late on this. Basically, all the other provinces, Alberta announced yesterday that they were kind of doing the same thing. So basically what's going to happen there is any mark, like the mark that the students had right now, will be their final grade, and they will move on to the next grade. And graduating students, whoever's eligible to graduate will graduate, from my understanding. I'm not sure if they'll have to write departmentals in Saskatchewan. I think Alberta, they will still have to write departmentals, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But anyways, they announced that schools would be closing as of March 20th. And that's something I think is kind of irresponsible. They say that if the student is able to go home, they should just go home if the parents are able to make those arrangements. But, I think with the fact that the virus is able to be transmitted asymptomatically, there could be kids going to school who have the virus and not be showing any symptoms and can still be contagious at that point. So an extra 4 days is a long time to let that go. So hopefully most of the people will be staying home, but that's not a guarantee with a March 20th actual closure date. So just more on the virus if any of you are unfamiliar. So basically the studies I've read in the articles, coronavirus, known properly as COVID-19, the scary thing about it is they say that it can potentially be transmitted asymptomatically, meaning that you wouldn't be showing any symptoms and still be contagious. And the asymptomatic period, I think they say it can last anywhere from 2 to 14 days on average, and possibly all the way up to 27 days, which is a long time. So that isn't really good news for a lot of people. Younger people generally will handle it well. It's the older people that probably won't handle it so well as anyone with pre-existing medical conditions like comorbidities such as cancer or diabetes or anything like that might compromise your immune system. So yeah, that's kind of scary. I could have the virus right now and not even know it. I'll probably get it eventually. And that's something I'm not concerned about getting it. I would be concerned about passing it on to somebody who wouldn't be able to handle it as well as I would. That's the scary part. That's why I want to take the necessary precautions. And, precautions that I'm taking, I have 3 P100 respirators. That means that the cartridges block out, I think, 99.8% of all particles. And then I have an N95 mask. So that's 4 masks. That's enough for everyone in my family in case it comes to that point. So I guess I could kind of talk a little bit about what I'm doing and everything like that. So basically, what's going on in my world is at work, we're doing just roofing, basically, insurance jobs. So, with the economy and everything like that, I think we're kind of safe because it's all insurance work and it's roofing. So you're not really in contact with people and, you're far away from everybody. Like the social distancing aspect is really easy to achieve with that. And I mean, unless they start implementing like travel bans, like, restricting travel locally here, which is a possibility. That's probably the next step. We're kind of safe that way. But I mean, basically just today, kind of took one last trip out of town just to grab any other essentials that we need, because I'm predicting lots of store closures in the future, if not travel bans. So just kind of took one last trip to get any essentials. Noticed that in Walmart and the other stores there, the toilet paper is all gone, and that's something I don't understand, is the panic buying like that. I mean, like, stock up on the essentials, but why toilet paper? I just don't get it. Why not like canned food or something like that? That would at least be a little more sensible, but whatever. So yeah, I mean, from now on, since in Saskatchewan, there currently, as I'm making this video, there's 1 confirmed case and 5 presumptive, which in a province of, I think, about 1.2 million people, it's significant. And, people say, I've heard people say, oh, I don't understand what the big deal is about. Like, it's just like the flu, the common cold or whatever. And people saying, oh, there've been way more deaths so far with the flu this year than there have been of coronavirus. But the reason being is because there's way more cases of the flu. And another reason that the coronavirus is such a big deal is because the R0 is way higher than that of the flu. And the R0 of a disease or a viral infection is basically means how contagious it is. So I think the common cold or the flu has an R0 of about 1.2, which means for every person that has it, they will infect 1.2 other people. And the R0 of COVID-19 is between 2 and 3, they're saying. And some sources say it could be as high as 7. They don't really know yet. So if that is the case, if it's that high, and one person can infect 7 other people, that's a big problem. And with there being no vaccine for it and it being a relatively new virus, that can pose a huge issue. So some things you'll probably hear a lot in the news lately are the terms social distancing and flattening the curve. So social distancing is pretty self-explanatory. Just distance yourself socially, basically. But flattening the curve is something that people might have a hard time understanding. So what that means is the curve, the exponential growth of the virus, if it were to go unchecked, would go way up and then down fairly quickly. Say the capacity of the healthcare system is somewhere right here. If you have the curve that goes like that, you overwhelm the healthcare system very quickly. But if you're able to flatten the curve, meaning go like that, so slow down the transmission and spread it out over a longer period of time, you alleviate that strain on the healthcare system, and it's able to be dealt with over a longer period of time and not overwhelm the healthcare system. So that's basically what that means. Also, another concerning study that I read out of Princeton, they studied the aerosolization of COVID-19, and they found that the virus can stay alive 3 hours post aerosolization, meaning it can survive in the air. So if there's a big event or something, the virus could just be floating around in the air and other people breathing it in. That's pretty concerning. You know, I don't know if there's any proof on that yet, but that was a study conducted. And they also said that it can survive on surfaces such as plastics, I think they mentioned, up to 48 hours. So that's pretty scary. So I think given what we know now about this virus and what we've seen, at least in Saskatchewan, I don't know about other places in the world. I haven't heard any stories personally about what's going on in certain places or up-to-date information. But I think we should be taking things a lot more seriously right now. The steps that we're taking now should have been put in place a month ago. But anyways, that being said, let me know what you guys think. I'll leave the comments open to a discussion. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Keep in mind, I'm not a medical professional at all. I have no background in that. So this is all just my opinion, studies I've read, anything like that. So yeah, let me know what the situation is like in your area. I'm curious to know, are the measures more drastic? Anybody living anywhere where there's been travel bans put in place? I'd love to hear what's going on all over the world and hear from you guys. So as for my plans for the future, I had a project that I had planned, but if there's gonna be lockdowns and stuff, might not be able to do that. But yeah, I can definitely keep you guys updated. I've got more videos to come that I have pre-recorded. Keep in mind, most of my videos are pre-recorded. I've filmed them a while back and just released them now. So yeah, I'll be sure to keep you up to date with everything that's going on around here. And yeah, thank you for watching and stay healthy, everyone.